Welcome to the Spiritualpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Christian, aka Love Pixel. And in each episode, we sit down with spiritual entrepreneurs sharing their knowledge, wisdom, and tools on their path to authentic success. Let's dive in. What is up, beautiful people? This is Christian from the Successful Spiritualpreneur podcast. And today I'm super excited because I have a very special guest here. Her name is Toni Bergins, and she's a creator of JourneyDance and the Embodied Transformation Method. So, with nearly 30 years of experience, she has guided over 150,000 people through workshops, retreats, and training, helping many heal and reconnect with their bodies through movement. Toni's journey began with personal struggles around body image and self worth, leading her to a profound spiritual transformation. She integrates music, movement, and self expression in her healing work and is also a musician who channels emotional healing through music, as well as a new author of the book that's coming soon, which is called Embody. So,
Yeah.
Toni, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so
Yay.
honored to be here and to be working with you in a different capacity.
Yeah, so excited to have you here. So tell us why movement? Why that?
Oh my goodness. Well, that's everything. Movement is life. Movement is energy. Movement is the key to all of it, in my feeling. If we're in stagnation, we're just stuck. And if we're in movement, we're in flow. So I've been teaching movement since I discovered my own body, really, in my early 20s. I was not one of those kids who danced like their whole way through life and then like was a dancer and had all the skills. I was disembodied and like not in a great place and really just doing like the regular thing that was expected of me. Went to college, went to grad school, was supposed to do this career. And I just hit the dance floor one day at Kripalu Center, which is a famous premier yoga and health center. And I ended up crying hysterically and feeling like, what am I doing with my life? I was like, what am I doing with my life? I want to be here. I want to be in the moment. I want to be in my body. I want to cry and laugh and feel my power and my sensuality. And my whole life changed on a dime, like, whoop, and I was like, quit everything and started a new path. It was not easy, but I did it.
Wow.
You asked the
And
question. That's what came out.
yeah, no, that's incredible because I feel it's just as you say, it's the key to everything. Movement just brings you out of anything that's not moving,
Yep,
stuck, old,
absolutely.
sticky. So it's a very powerful tool. So tell us, how has your life changed since then? How long have you been doing this? What's happening?
Oh my goodness. Since that like epiphany moment, I'll never forget it. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Like, I can't go back to that, what I was doing. I was living in New York City, kind of corporate life. It was great. I had all the things looked great. I had the great job, like a nice, decent apartment at the time, which is probably worth so much money now. But at the time, it was like a little tiny little one bedroom that I happened to find. But it was like I just couldn't stay there. I had to leave. I had to just get out and do something different. So I left New York and I went on a whole different journey. So my whole life turned into living in sort of a countryside, living in the mountains, and going to like nature became part of my life in a whole different way than it had been before. And music has always been my life. Like, I have been obsessed with music since I was a child. And I give that to my dad. My dad he's a Mozartian aficionado and opera and all the things. So he just pushed music into our brains, all of my whole family. And then we would, of course, rebel against him and listen to all other kinds of music. But music was my life. And then when I saw how music and movement could just become a transformational journey, I started creating on the dance floor. I started teaching and creating. And first I took what was called Kripalu dance kinetics way back in the early 90s. And then I studied every form of dance I could find to like become a dancer, because I wasn't a dancer. I didn't have the training. I just loved to move. And luckily I was pretty physically able to move. And I started realizing that with psychology, I was obsessed with spiritual growth and always have been on some spiritual path or other, and really obsessed with psychodrama, which I just love, and all things, spiritual. I read every book on every religion. I just wanted to know everything about everything to understand, why am I here? What is my purpose? What is the purpose of all of this whole crazy ride that we're on, that I love. I shouldn't say crazy, wild, intense ride. And then I started weaving the things together, Because what I noticed was when I was in an altered state of movement, whether it's like fast movement or, wild, just abandon, or, like really slow, something would happen in the mind, and my mind would shut off all of its blah, 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 right? We have a lot of active mind. And I would just go into a different space where I could say, oh, what do I need to know? What do I need to see? What am I feeling right now? What needs to be expressed? What is possible? What do we need to let go of? And all the stuff started pouring in. Like I became a channel for this whole questioning. So when you take a journey dance with me, or you do this process with any of the teachers who study with me, it's a lot of inquiry. Where am I now? What's happening? What needs to be looked at? What's ready to be revealed? What more parts of me could I actually reveal to the world? What needs to be embraced? What needs to be forgiven? What needs to be reclaimed? It's a lot. It's like I'm weaving psychology, spirituality, and movement and music into one container. I hope that helped. I don't know. My life's changed in so many ways. I don't know if I answered the
I
question.
know. No, it's beautiful. And we have a lot of people here on the show that are just such multidimensional masters, because once you go on this like spiritual journey, I feel like there's like these all these layers that become
Mm,
unlocked, and you realize yourself in so many different ways and different capacities. And
yes.
some people might even start different hobbies, different instruments, like it manifests in so many different ways. So I think you're such an incredible example of that. And so for you, what has been the most rewarding part of your work?
I knew you were going to ask that. And I was going to say the answer already. It's the people, and it's the community, and it's the energy. I mean, you know, you could be addicted to a lot of things in life, right? And I think why not be addicted to something like dancing with 100 people? Like that is so fun, so powerful, so transformative. I don't know how else to describe it, but I think my favorite thing is just dancing with large groups of people. I always say the more the merrier. When there's like 8 people, 10 people, it's a lot more work as a facilitator. When there's 100, 400, you're just like, everyone's just with you, like being a DJ. I'm a DJ, but I'm also guiding. So it's not quite
Mm,
being a DJ. It's like being a DJ with a psychological, in-depth program we're going to unwind, right? We're going to go on a journey into ourselves, into the community. And like I think the other thing that's most fulfilling for me is the potential. I feel like there's a potential that happens when people gather and they dance together, and they in this particular way, and creation is possible. Like I just wrote an email today about how we could come together and effectively shift the collective with intention. If we all put our intention into one thing, into the dream of bringing our full energy forward, or the dream into moving into peace, the dream into, moving into manifestation, whatever you're looking for in your life, I feel that is so potential. Like that's what I love about the dance. It feels like I'm gardening, and I'm planting seeds, and something's going to happen, and it's going to ripple out into the world. Every time I dance, I feel the ripple effect. That's kind of
wow.
why I keep coming back.
And so what's super fascinating for me is like you were able to take a subject like dance and monetize it. How do you how do you survive? Like how do you make money? You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
tell us about that. How were you able to make a business out of your passion?
That is the journey that I always tell people, like, being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. It is not the easy journey. It is not the easy path. You don't just get your paycheck every week and go and pay your dues and do your thing. You have to actually create constantly. And I feel like the key to our success, Journey Dance, is probably like there's 5 of us that help me run the company, including you at times. And it's it's being able to pivot and see what the need is and what's possible and what people want. So what we did, how it started really was the original like monetization, we'll say, was teacher training. Somebody came to me in the early 2000s and said, "What are you doing? I want to do that. That's different." And I was like, "I don't know. What am I doing?" And she's like, "I will sit with you and I will write a teacher training manual." She's like, you will dictate it to me and I will write it." I was like, "All right, let's do this." So as soon as someone says they want to help you, you're like, yeah, especially if you're an artist, you're like, yes, help me. So this woman, I'll never forget her, so sweet. She would come to my house like every week for months and just ask me questions. What happens first? What happens second? What happens third? Why you do that? Why is it in this order? How come you change that? And like all these things. And then slowly she's like, what music do you play? And I'm like, oh, this, that. And then we developed the teacher training manual. And it was like an organic thing. I had no plans for this. That's the one thing that was about me that I think I probably could have monetized better had I had a big plan, but I actually have been walking the steps, kind of like I am a Capricorn and we just like, we climb the mountain however we're going to get to the top. This is how we are, right? We're steadfast and we're persistent, but we don't always follow the path, right? We just go wherever. So that was the beginning of monetization. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know I was going to be doing these teacher trainings. And then that just became the business. And then we had the whole pandemic happen and going on Zoom. So our whole lives, right? Remember, I don't know, you're not as old as me, but when I was a kid, we used to say like, can you imagine someday there's going to be video calling? Like there's going to be video calling. We were like, it's going to be amazing. And now we're doing it, which is amazing in my lifetime. I'm so happy. So Zoom happened and then everything shifted. And then I started teaching online. And that was another whole big stream of income that I was not expecting when people were coming to the class online. A lot of people were coming, a lot of people. So then I started teaching more online and more online. And then I was like, oh, I like it. I don't love it. I like being with people, but I can do it. It's successful. So it's this like little balance where you pivot and say, okay, this is the next path. Okay, this is the next path. So right now I wrote a book, which is right here. I got my copies. It's called Embody, Feel, Heal, and Transform Your Life Through Movement. And I'm hoping that this will be another launching pad for the monetization because more people who would never have heard of me or heard of this idea. I mean, embodiment is a very popular word right now. It's one of the buzzwords. That's why I thought I'm going to go with it because this is what I believe in, that we embody all our parts. We embody everything that we want to become, everything that we've been, and we embrace it, we express it, we process it, we move through it. So this is another way. I have a portal that people who come in, they'll go to the little barcode. Okay, open right to the page. They'll click it. They'll go in. They'll go to a portal where they can join me for a masterclass. We can do all kinds of things together. So there's a lot of options for monetization that I think, make it. I'm the kind of person who I made a DVD. I swear, I'm not kidding you. Like in 2018 when like Blockbuster fully closed. Like it was like the end of the DVD era when I finally like made the DVD. So, sometimes as an entrepreneur, you're like chasing it and sometimes you're ahead of it. It just depends. So that's kind of how I describe this journey. The entrepreneurial journey is not for everyone. It is not easy. Some people come in and they're like, I can't do what you do. There's no way. I could never live like that. I couldn't have to be creating my own. You're an entrepreneur. You have to create your own industry in a sense. It's almost like I actually was part of the creating of the industry. There was a whole conversation with a bunch of really amazing dance teachers way back with this guy who was incredibly brilliant, and he created a whole magazine called Conscious Dancer. And we were on the phone, like week after week deciding like, how will this play out? What's it going to be called? And like, I remember he's a genius and he helped create an industry that didn't even exist before. Like, remember when yoga, no one knew what that was? Now there's conscious dance and everyone knows what that is now. People know what ecstatic dance is and all these different dance forms are. They know because people have really spent their lives dedicated to spreading the work. So that's the entrepreneurial journey. And monetization is sometimes super up and sometimes down and sometimes up and down. It's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. Wow.
I hope that was helpful and honest answer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, that I think is just, that answer kind of encapsulates what an entrepreneur really is about. It's like you create your own niche in a way, right? Especially when you're so unique and expressive and spiritual as you are, right? You don't want to be like, I don't know, putting people's roofs or landscape. That's not really an entrepreneur for you, right? And I think that's also why this podcast, like Successful Spiritualpreneur, like there's this connection of like your passion, your spirit, your intangible with this tangible value. So like with that being said, like what is for you a spiritual entrepreneur? Like what do you define that as?
I mean, for me, like integrity is such a key word to the whole thing because as a business person, I always want to deliver the content. Like that's never been my issue. Delivering the content that's my jam. I'm so good at giving people a transformational experience. the selling, the marketing, all that stuff is the real rub for artists and entrepreneurs like us. It's just like, how do I sell my skill, which everybody needs, but no one knows they need it. It's like, what was that? The need, the thing everyone needs. Anyway, that's from the Lorax. But the whole point is, it's like, I think that's the hardest part. So to be a really spiritual entrepreneur is to actually never be like selling in an icky way, but be offering and inviting and hopefully spreading so much love that you become a magnet. Like that's my goal. I'm just like, I am a magnet of love. Like I know the world is really going through intensity right now, but I'm showing up every week with my resilient body, and I'm saying, "Listen, let's do this." Because resilience, this is my equation. Resilience minus joy equals suffering. Resilience plus joy equals empowerment, right? So if I can get back to joy, even if it's for 10 minutes on the dance floor, I can go back to be resilient again. But if I'm not in joy, then I'm just like, and it could happen even in this business, whatever business you're in, like you have to have joy in there. So that's my thing. I think it's really about integrity, offering something that's really useful. One of the things that I'll share is one of my challenges is always been coming up with what's the right tagline, like how do people, then I watch people who are like so successful and they're like using these taglines. I'm like, oh god, I would never use that, just so not me. So it's like finding the me that is me and then the you that is you, that like somehow you're delivering the message of who you are. I think that's the hardest part, is like, it's that, but it's also my favorite part, finding what is it that I'm sharing, what is it I'm delivering. So I would say, like, embody your joy, embody your sensuality, embody your power. What would I say tomorrow? I don't know. It's like every day is kind of a different,
Yeah.
message.
It is an evolution too.
Yeah,
That has to be said, especially as an entrepreneur. Like the agency that I ran 5 years ago is not the same way I run the agency today, because I have
right.
changed, the market has changed, the customers have changed. Like everything has changed,
Yes,
right? The people have gotten smarter. There's AI now. Things have gotten easier. I have changed. There's certain things I want to versus not want to do inside of my own business
right,
currently. It's like,
right.
so yeah, absolutely. I think that evolution is a key part, and I think really love that you said that integrity, um, because yeah, like if you, I think it's like the dark side versus the light side. As an
Mhm,
entrepreneur, like you could
mhm.
sell the heck out of things,
Right,
and maybe never deliver as good, right? Or you just don't sell it as much, but you really just like love your own. It's more like an internal thing,
yeah,
So you love it, you're good at it, but you're
yeah.
just not good at
I,
marketing it. You know what I mean?
Hello, that you're speaking my language. That's me. I mean, I'm getting much better at marketing just because, we have social media and there's all these easy avenues to market, but it's still that love of it. And, one thing I'll say to people so that they don't feel depressed, and I'm just going to be honest right here and say some people who have massive Instagram followings don't have the actual thing that you'd think they had, because some people are just really good at the marketing and they're
Mm.
not yet, or they haven't yet been discovered by the people who would actually pay, right? Because like being really popular on social media doesn't mean you're getting paying clients. It just means that you have a lot of followers. And some people love free content. All they're going to ever do is free content. That's all they're ever going to do. Other people are like, I don't want to dance with AI. I want to dance with her, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, luckily for me, what I do can never be replaced by AI. I'm just saying, because I'm going to be dancing with you and moving, unless there's like an actual like AI robot that really can move. I don't even want to say those words out loud. I'm kidding, but yeah, we'll use AI to come up to generate some great, content or ideas for content or like titles of things or whatever, but it can't replace the experience of a human being, like what you've been through. So I think the other thing about that you said, the other thing that's really important to me in the spiritual business is that I can really hold space if I've really gone deep, right? Like if I haven't gone deep into my well of grief, anger, healing, all the things, then who am I to hold space for people while they're going through that, right? I really have to walk my talk. So integrity for me also means walk my talk, be present with the people that are in your space. That's why I'm like, marketing is like so like I know I need to prioritize it much more than I do, but it's definitely not like number one on my priority list is what playlist am I going to do tomorrow? It's not like how am I going to sell the class. So I'm working on that more and more. because now that I wrote the book, I have even more responsibility to get the book out there. And
Mhm.
my true goal is that the book will bring the form into the consciousness of more people so that all the teachers I've trained will have full classes and they'll be able to also thrive, because everyone's thriving is my thriving. It's like if everyone I've ever taught thrives, then I'm good. I've done my work here. I don't have to keep pushing. I can let other people teach and spread and heal, because that's the whole point of it all, is for healing. It's not for me. And of course everyone needs to make money and pay their rent or whatever they have to do. So it's a complex dance. I'm always in that dance. Money,
Beautiful.
love, passion, creativity. Money, love, passion, creativity.
It's true. Very true. It's like it's they, inspire each other. It's like an infinite loop, you know? So,
Yeah, and changing your relationship with money, as I did that, I was like, "Oh, I like that. Money, love, creativity." Like, why can't they all dance together? People have such negative connotation of money that when money comes into the picture, it's like, "Ah!" It's
yeah.
like stuff comes up, all of our past, all of our childhood, this is what got yelled at in our family. Money is bad, or money is all that matters, all the different messages that we got.
Mhm.
So it's like finding that balance so that you can actually monetize in a healthy, good way where everyone is, you know what I mean. We come from a similar spiritual path, so
Sure.
we want to do it for the highest good of all, and for our own, success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if there's somebody out there, one of the listeners that really wants to like just get to know Journey Dance and the
Mm.
method behind it, like what would you say is the great way to start?
Oh, well, the first thing to do is come dance with me on Tuesday at 12 o'clock. We have a Tuesday 12. It's just because it's a long story, but Tuesday 12 o'clock. We've been doing it since COVID, and we stopped. We didn't stop because we had so many wonderful people coming. Tuesdays, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There's a class always taught by me or one of my team. And the other way is to buy the book, which is now literally, it's going to come on the shelves. It's going to be at Target and all those places. I can't believe it. And Barnes and Noble and everywhere. I know. I'm so excited. It's called Embodied. And this explains Journey Dance. And this is a little funny thing that I do on all my visual podcasts. I said to them, can we do a flip book at the back? Isn't that hilarious? She took it, she made a video so you can be inspired. And this thing leads you into a portal that's full of videos, playlists, so many like 17 playlists of all the qualities of Journey Dance, and then videos and to dance with me. And then I'm going to do a master class, and people can come. Actually, we can do the work together and be like really digging into the questions. Why do I have low self-esteem? Why do I have body hatred? Why am I having this addiction? Why, like, and unpack it as a group and dance and move and transform some of that, whatever's possible. And my conditioning. I'm really about my whole goal is to help people unlock their conditioning and to find their own thought, their own creativity, their own expression. Because you come with so many gifts, and they just get like, you get told what to do by everyone as you grow up, and then you're like, well, who am I? So that's the big question. And it could last forever. Some people are still looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can go to Journey.
I know I am. There's so
Yeah,
much in it.
I am too. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
But I love the journey. So it's called JourneyDance.com. My website is JourneyDance.com. And you can also go to ToniBergins.com to get into the book portal and grab a copy of the book, which would be so wonderful. It comes out again. I did the audio book as well, which was such a fun journey. Reading out
Amazing.
loud. Oh my God, it's a lot of hours and a lot of energy to read out loud. You should appreciate all audio book readers from this point on, because it takes energy. You have to be like, you can't be like slouching in your chair when you're reading. You just have to be on when you read a book out loud. It's good work. It's deep.
I love it. That's amazing. Okay, so tell us, like, you just mentioned your website, and I think a website, because at Love Pixel Agency here, it's always a website is always a special thing because it's kind of like it's like putting out down a stake in the ground, be like, this is who I am, right? So
Yes.
tell us about the first version of your website and how that came about, because all like we all start out somehow, and I think it's great, and people always think like we need these like $1 million websites to start out with, and it's usually
I
not the case.
love
So tell
I
us.
love this question. I'm so excited. 'Cause I started in 1997, my first website. It was one page. You know those one pagers from 1997? You were probably just a child. Anyway, so 1997, I had a one page website and I drew all the pictures myself of all the dances. So on the sides, it was all little dance figures, like my scribble. It was hysterically funny. It's like back bend and it was like all these poses and like leaping. And they were, I have a poster, I think that still like has those drawings on it somewhere in some file. It says like Toni's old memorabilia. But anyway, it was orange and blue. And my friend made the logo, and it was this really thick, funky, like really old font, doesn't even exist. And then it became papyrus, which then everybody used, and papyrus had to go. So that was the first website, 1997. And then I had like one other one, which I can't remember, then the one before you. And then I came to Love Pixel Agency, and now my website is magnificent looking.
I love it. Thank you
It
so much.
truly is, but it has evolved. I mean, that is a funny process. The last one wasn't terrible.
Yeah, tell us about the last one. Tell us about the one in between the first one and the one now. Because
Okay,
like all
so
these websites, if you think about it, they're
yeah,
big milestones in people's and entrepreneurs' lives.
I know. I wish I had taken screenshots. I don't think you could take screenshots back then. I think we were using actual cameras. Anyway, so I'm serious. The iPhone came out in, I mean, later, everybody, just so you know, like you're lucky you have an iPhone. You can edit your stuff so easy now. We had to work so hard. So the first website was that one pager. I remember the guy we would get together. Oh, I know the second website. Okay, the second website was this really cool guy who created a plug and play thing. So you'd say, you text him, can you make me a window to drop in a picture and have an event? And he'd be like, I will do it in 2 days. And then 2 days later, he'd send you a link and you'd click it. And then you'd be able to drop a picture and a description. And then it would look like, like a listing. It looked like an old, I wish I could describe it to you, but like the words and the photo, and this is how much it costs. And you have to go sign up. They get to like call a number. We didn't have like all the stuff yet. There was not like Eventbrite or PayPal or Stripe or any of this stuff. It was just all so complicated. Then the next website was I think that was Live Edit. I did Live Edit, and my pictures were beautiful, and I had spent so much money on the graphics. Oh my god, people just making it look great. You know, I don't know. I don't know what people should spend money on these days. I don't know what's the most important thing. Functionality probably more important than visuals, but now you have to have both because, Instagram's so beautiful and you can make things so easily in Canva and do all the things. But we didn't have Canva back then, so we we're paying the designer to make the images, and oh my goodness. Y'all lucky now. You just go to Canva and go to someone like Christian. He'll just like whip it together for you so beautifully. So then that website, we had like not 10 years, maybe 10 years with the last one, which was move into a new story with the red. I went to this photo shoot and running around in Jamaica, actually, with a woman and this guy, and they helped me, and we ran. I had this 15-foot scarf, and I ran across the field with it, and we took all the pictures. It's like that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But this website, I think this is the most beautiful website we've ever had by far. And the process that you had was so efficient and beautiful. And I did have an incredible photo shoot that was an accident that happened. One was an accident, one was on purpose, but I had this amazing photographer who was at an event that I was teaching, and she said, I'm going to take all these pictures for you because I'm taking them for them. So I'm taking them for you too. And she is an epic photographer. So we had beautiful photos to work with. And then with you and the style and the new, the blending and the energy and those videos that we made, a DJ made me those videos that do that thing. Because my work
Mm-hmm.
is elemental. So I wanted the elements to come through. We got everything to come through, I think, really well.
Yeah. And so what does this website symbolize for you? Like the new one?
Mm.
Like what, like now that you have it, and like what do you feel you calling into your life?
Mm. It's like I'm 55, ready to drive. I have arrived.
Hmm.
You like that?
Yeah, I like it.
Well, you're not 55 yet, but when you turn 55, something happens. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have arrived. Like I'm marinated. I'm solidly in the work. I've been there. I've seen so many things. I can hold that space. It's who I am now. It's not like of course I'm still evolving and growing because we're always evolving and growing, but I feel in the work I'm in a new place. And writing the book was kind of like I'm here. I'm here. and now with the website, we all knew the book was going to come out. Like when we talked about the website, it was like, all right, it's going to just be a new solid, but it's so much movement and it's so beautiful. It really feels like the next evolution. And of course we'll work, if we need to change it, we'll change it again. But it's right now, that's what I'll say. 55 ready to drive. I have arrived. That's my new website.
I love it. That's fantastic. So we're coming towards the end of the episode. We have about like 5 to 7 minutes left. And I wanted to ask you a couple more kind of like philosophical questions, if you will.
Sure. Absolutely.
So if you like, what would you say? What are the 3 words you want people to know you for after you leave this physical plane?
Ooh. Yeah. Inspiration. I thrive on inspiration. That's my thing. Energy shifter. Like, even though I do dance, it's really about the energy. It has nothing to do with your physical body, even though your physical body will be doing the dance. It's your energy that we're working with. So it's inspiration, energy. Wow. Well, with 3 words I want to be when I leave this plane, I think it would have to be love. I know I'm a little bit of a sap, but I was going to say like, upliftment, but it's love. It's just love that just radiates from every single person. If we could get past our own blocks and get in between the lines and stop division, it would just be love. It would just be that we would just we would just let it out. Because I think all wound and heal and pain and all of it comes from not letting the love out. Right? They say grief is love with no place to go. So if we're grieving, it's because we have so much love and we won't let it out. It's like this, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's movement. Okay, let's end with, I get 4 words. It's movement. Movement has to be the 4th word.
I love it. Awesome. That's great. So, who or what inspires you the most in your spiritual or entrepreneurial journey right now?
Ooh, that's such a good one. Honestly, it's the opposite of what you would think. It's not someone who's above or someone who's below. It's everyone who I work with, like everywhere I go. I go to a studio, I meet the studio owner, we're friends, we have this connection. We like, what are you doing? How are you doing it? It's the community. It's the JourneyDance teachers say, Toni, we need this, we need that. Oh, we love that you're doing that. Can we ride that way? Let's ride this wave together. It's like that interaction. It's like meeting you. It's like everyone I meet is my mentor. And is my I don't have a guru. I don't have a guru, to be honest. So I watch the big wigs and I know who the gurus are. And I mean, the people who are like the best marketers in the world. And I've gone to some of their workshops and things. I've done a lot of that studying, but I never land with it. It always comes from the people I'm with, my partner, my friends, my JourneyDance team. I have the most amazing team of human beings that are just so wonderful. And they constantly push me, inspire me. And sometimes we have friction and we have to work through stuff, and they're just amazing. They're geniuses and I love them. And they help me too. Does that sound like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not a thing above or below. It's this here.
Yeah. It's, you're in one wavelength, one level.
Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to grow. That's the thing. I want to always listen to what is going to push me to grow.
Yeah. And so with that inspiration, what's your vision for the new earth?
Oh, wow. Oh, you want to hear the honest truth? Okay. Pretty much everybody needs to do some kind of a psychedelic experience with a journey with a facilitator. Okay. Or they need to open up some material. That's my first vision. They can do it through dance. They can do it through movement. They can do it through breath work. They can do it through some kind of a altered state experience. We have to get out of the normal day-to-day. This is how I think. This is how I am. That has to be shifted. We have to get to a new level. And the way you do that is through altered state experiences, through some kind of a shift. And I really think that that's the number one thing. Because when everybody does their work and they see, okay, this past I'm carrying with me, has to be released or has to be transmuted or has to be shifted. Otherwise, the world's going to stay in the same cycles and the same paradigm, war and power and violence and land and ownership and all the things that we're working on right now. It's just really intense. It's like we have to all do something to shift that and to open up and to say, okay, what is possible now? Then we can start thinking, what is possible now? So what is my vision of the new earth? I'm not living it right now, and I know that. I'm an empty nester, so right now I'm living alone, right? It's kind of weird. I want to be in community, and I'm living alone. It's very strange. So my communities are created through my work. So I go dance with tons of people. I go dance with tons of people. I go dance with tons of people. So I have communities all over globally. But what about locally? And I think right now we're seeing it everywhere that we need our local communities. We need actually to, do the reconnection in that way, but without the barriers of judgment that we are so conditioned right now into fear and judgment. Those are the two biggest forces, I think, right now that are dividing and conquering and doing all the things, right? Fear and judgment. So if we could unpack that, we could shift. I did say psychedelics. But I also think it can be done in many ways through spiritual practice, meditation. Just we've all got to get on that journey. And I do think that's kind of my answer for the question. I hope that was at least made some sense to the
Yeah.
mom.
No, that's beautiful. And with that being said, what would you say, like, what are your future goals as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a spiritual, brand, and
Mhm.
what are you looking to call in for yourself and for Journey
Mm,
Dance and for that
mm.
vision?
Oh, I want to call like more people to the dance floor, just more and more and more people saying, "Hey, this is where it's at. It's not outside of me. It's not in my disassociative state where I'm going to find the answers. It's in here. It's in my heart. It's in my body. It's like let's get back into the body because we've really disassociated so we can handle life and we've numbed out, and that's scary because numb people do things that people who could feel would never do. So it's like it's part of that emotional, empathic, compassionate journey that I want people to go on. That's why the journey dance is not, it's not like, woohoo, let's party. It's got that, but it's also got the depth. What evocative emotion do you need to feel right now? Do you need to feel your anger? Do you need to feel your sadness? What can we move today so that you can come into centeredness and be there, be present with everyone in your life? Like that's really what I'm looking for. So I think I'm really clear on my mission is just to continue and just expand and hope that more and more people will come to the dance floor, more people will come to the music. Music is such a gift. Music is I could talk about music all day. If you want to do a whole podcast with me on music, we could do that. I could listen to music all day, literally every day, all day for a year and never get bored because it's like everyone has something to say. The musicians, the artists, the instruments, it's an incredible journey. And to mix that into your life is another healing balm. Everybody needs music and dance and expression.
Wow. Yeah.
That's my truth.
That's beautiful. And one thing that I've heard once was that music is the back door to the heart.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Mm,
So we're coming to the last question of the podcast,
okay.
and that
Uh-oh.
is, what are the last words you want to leave our audience with, and then where can people find you?
Oh, wow. Okay. So the last words I'd want to leave the audience with would be wherever you are right now, whatever's going on with you in your life, take a breath and let yourself feel it. And maybe put on a piece of music and maybe dance it, maybe express it through movement and trust trust that some deep part of you knows how to heal. That would be my last words, I think, because everyone knows how to heal. Our bodies are made to heal. We have a cut, it gets healed. So we have to learn how to do that on the emotional and the mental, spiritual level as well. And for anyone who's going through heartbreak, just know that there's a lot of people going through it too, and that we're going to be okay. We can heal our hearts. We can heal them one day at a time, and that it's okay. That's probably my greatest message. And that music would be a great soothing balm and dancing. I guess that's what I want to say to people because I feel like there's so much There's just so much, as I said, fear and pain and sadness and judgment and grief. And there's also a lot of joy. So we're all riding this wave together. You can find me at JourneyDance.com, ToniBergins.com, and you can follow me on social media, which would be so great, on TikTok at Toni Bergins, Instagram at Toni Bergins, and Journey Dance Official. Those are my little tags. And Facebook, of course, but I think I don't have any more space in Facebook or something. I don't understand. Can't follow me anymore on Facebook because I have too many followers. No, I don't.
I love it. Great. Well, thanks so much for being part of the show and for all your wisdom that you left here, all your heart and all your energy.
Oh,
So, yes, thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much for having me. Thank you for working with me and making my beautiful website. Go check out JourneyDance.com. It's so beautiful. Made by Love Pixel Christian himself and his amazing team.
Thank you so much. Yes, we had a great time making that website. It was
May
beautiful
we
to
all uplift each other.
encapsulate the movement and the elements. And yeah, it was an honor. Thank you.
So great.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.